Today, you're going to deploy Posit tools using Kimbodo Launch for AWS. Here you have an option. You can choose to deploy it on your own cloud, or you can host it on Kimbodo Cloud. For this session, you'll go with your own cloud. Choose AWS as your cloud provider. Then click on Continue with Kimbodo Launch. You'll see a screen where you can select how you want to deploy. You have two options. First, click to deploy. This option guides you through each step and sets everything up in your environment. The second option is Give me the files. Here you get a bundle of Terraform and Ansible files. You can use these to provision the VMs and install Posit with Ansible. For this session, choose Click to deploy. Now you'll see the option to connect your AWS account. First, you need to set up your company's AWS region. You can set or select the region. For this example, use US West 1. Next, you need to find your access portal address. Let's quickly fill this out. Then, all you need to do is click Sign in to AWS. This will take you to the sign up page. Hit Confirm and Continue, then Allow. Now you'll see you're connected to AWS. This is the test Kimbodo account, and the role has administrator access. The region this account is associated with is US West. There are other roles available for this account. Here you have options to set up the EC2 roles. This EC2 role is for self-hosted deployment and uses AWS Systems Manager, SSM, for management. No SSH needed. Attach the Amazon SSH managed instance code to an EC2 instance role and enter the name build. You'll need the EC2 role, which you can enter here. Make sure this specific EC2 role has the right permissions. Then hit save. If you want to use something else, you can attach it here. If your organization supports EC2DAX, it's an easy step. Just provide the key, enter the value, and hit done. It will show up right here. But if you don't want it, you can click Remove and press Enter. Now go ahead and test out the permissions to see if you're eligible, or if you have all the right permissions installed. You need these to provision a VM and install a POC tool. Let's quickly test the permissions. This will verify everything, like if you're signed in, confirmed, can create EC2 instances, describe instance types, create and retag, check if VPC subnets and security groups are accessible, and if SSM is enabled. Elastic IP and create VPC network are optional. If you want to assign an Elastic IP to your machine, you need Elastic IP permission. Otherwise, you don't need it. The other option is create VPC and network. You only need this if you want Kimbodo Launch to create the VPC and networking for you. If not, you can select one you've already created and deploy the machine in that VPC. Now, hit Continue. Here you can choose the available products. As you can see, we have Posit Workbench. You can add licenses easily. If you have a basic license and select that you have 4 to 5 users, you'll see options for licenses. For example, if you have 5 to 10 users, you'll get recommendations based on your selection. For 5 to 10 users, the system suggests the small for basic and medium for enhanced. You can always override these suggestions. If you want the large license for enhanced, just select it. Or if you prefer the recommended option, you can stick with that. Just click to continue. You can also start a free trial. If you choose this, you don't need to provide a license. For this demo, let's install Posit Connect using the Package Manager. I'll choose Basic with the recommended medium license. Now, select your license. For Posit Package Manager, go ahead and pick your option as well. Once you've picked your product and machine type and provided your license, you'll see the Advanced Settings option. This lets you choose the version of R you want to install, the version of Python, or any other preferences you have. You can support the latest options, and you can select multiple choices. So if you want to go with this one, you just select it from here. Or if you want to unselect something, just click on it. This time, go with the latest one, then hit Continue. Here you have the Review and Launch page. Basically, all your selections can be reviewed here before you launch the build. The deployment type for this is Click to Deploy. You can edit it. The AWS account you're using is shown here. The region is US West 1. For network, since you haven't selected any VPC or network settings, the system will automatically create the VPCs and deploy the tools and machine there. The product you have selected is Posit Connect and Package Manager. License files are shown here. The server size for Connect is listed, and for Package Manager, it's shown as well. There are advanced settings where you can override and create VPCs automatically. If you want to deploy in a VPC you've already created, you can select it. For this case, go with this option. Select the subnet you want to use, and lastly, the security settings. Here you also have the option to select your operating system. It is Ubuntu and RHEL. Server name prefix is what you use to set the name of your servers and the host name prefix. For example, if you enter Posit Workbench 01, that becomes your Savoni. There are a few validations. The name should start with a lowercase letter or number. Maximum is 63 characters. It can't end with a hyphen. For this, just pause it. If you want to have an elastic IP attached to your VM, check this box. You can also allow Kimbo to access the edge server. This lets the current server's IP access port 3993, 3939, 4242, and 8787 for subdomain routing and health checks. If you check this box, you'll be able to use your subdomains with the tool you've deployed. Now, let me hit this box and click Done. Now you can see everything. You can verify that everything you selected is what you want. On the right, you'll see the agent setting. This shows all the context for where you are in the process. As you can see, you're currently at step 4. It says you are on review and launch. Before you launch, make sure all your networking settings are correct. Then you're good to go. You can also ask some questions to the agent on the right. For example, you can ask about vision. I'm not showing you how to click it because I had a legacy application using Owner. Based on the agent's response for your legacy application, it suggests that it's best to choose the most basic minor version of R available that still supports your oldest required package dependency. It also tells you about Project Workbench. This tool lets you install multiple versions of R side by side, so you're not limited to just one version. If you need multiple versions of R, Posit Workbench is made for that. You can select several versions of R and click to deploy. On the left, you have deployment support. If you find an issue deploying the tool using Kimbodo Launch, you can schedule a time with us and provide the date and time you want to meet. If you need any additional information to share with Kimbodo before the support call, you can provide IT here and schedule support. Now I'll go ahead and accept the terms and agreement. Then I'll click Launch and Deploy. You will now be redirected to the dashboard, where you'll see all your deployments. For this deployment, you chose Posit Package Manager, and it shows that record in your dashboard. There's also a Launch Admin dashboard. Here you can see all deployments and related metrics, like total deployments, how many were successful, failed, still in progress, or canceled. You can also check the success rate for the past 7 days and see how many bundles were generated. Deployment health, successful deployments are shown here. Field percentages here and other types are listed as well. Deployment over time shows up as a graph. You can also classify deployments by cloud. This section shows the percentage of deployments for each cloud. Here you have the option to reset activity. Next, you'll see a table. This gives you a brief overview of which user provisioned or selected POSIT tool. You can see whether it was a click to deploy or part of a bundle that was downloaded. For example, Jason chose Posit Connect, Workbench, and Package Manager. He also chose bundles he needed. You can see that here. Are you managing multiple company deployments of Posit? There's a filter on Admin the dashboard. You can filter by company, by user, and also by date range, with start and end dates. You can also filter by cloud. Once you select your filters, the dashboard will show metrics based on what you picked. You can also keep track of all conversations with the Launch Assistant. There's a conversation tab where you can see all the conversations you've had with the agent. Here are all the conversations and any issues you've discussed with the agent. So, as you can see here, the user was trying to ask the agent, can you change password ECD rule to positive ECTU? So the user was asking the agent to update the field for themselves, and here's the response. We have a record of their conversation. And over here you can see the deployment is still happening. We have provisioned the VM, that's why we got the IP. This is setting up the environment for the project. Package Manager and configuration are being loaded for Posit Connect. As you can see, Posit Package Manager is now deployed, and the status is ready. We can open it now, so you have your subdomain for this particular Package Manager deployment. And the tool is up and running perfectly fine. Now you have the option to set up SSL for the Package Manager. For the user, there's also the option to set up SSL. We're waiting for connectivity to be deployed. Let's give it a moment. We have both machines up now. Connect is also ready. You can check if it's up and running. So yes, it's up. And it's perfectly accessible as well. Now, the user also has the same option like setting up SSL, and the other option for Connect is SMTP. So the user can also set up SMTP for Connect directly from the dashboard. So that's pretty much it for this session. Hope you enjoyed it. Please share any feedback you have.